Good, right? There's 5 people in there.
Okay, we'll just see if there's more people coming on. So let's give it some couple of minutes. Right. Let's see what's happening. Right, I'm just going to give it a couple of more minutes. Right, I think I'm going to start off. It's already on the clock of 8:30, and good evening, everybody. My name is Karin, my surname October, and I'm a single mother of 2 precious children by the name of Danielle and Adrian. Let me start off on how I became a member of RAEL. A couple of years ago, I went on a boat trip. I was fortunate, and I met this wonderful lady on the same boat, obviously, and by the name of Octavia. And when I went into a Facebook profile, I saw that she's doing all these postings on Orange Fridays, and I was so interested in it. And she introduced me to it, and for a couple of years, 4 years or so, I have been doing some posting for RAEL Orange Friday, which is always something that I look forward to on a Friday. What happened in the past with Danielle and Adrian was they grew up as, just the 3 of us. And when things came a bit too rocky for us financially and whatever, Danielle decided that she would rather go and live in Plettenberg Bay with her granny. And Adrian, at the age of 8 years old or so, the 2 of us carried on staying together. When Danielle came home after finishing school, she met up with her boyfriend, and things got out of hand after 2-3 years, and they both fell into the trap of addiction. Okay? And out of this relationship, Danielle gave birth to a beautiful daughter by the name of Akila. Akila is 15 years old today. And my greatest fear about that was that I would have Akila having, some ailment because her mother was addicted to drugs. And fortunately, God gave us the strength, and He gave the power for Akila to heal after a year, because she was born blind and deaf. And between myself and Akila's granny, the other granny, the father's mum, the 2 of us had to take care of Akila. It's now over 17 or 18 years or a bit more that Danielle is still on the streets. She never ever wanted to come home. She was willing to go to rehab, come back clean for 8 months, and then it's back again. All right. So out of that experience with Danielle, I decided, I said to myself, I just feel that each situation is different. Everybody is different. We can give one another advice, what to do, how to say, where to go and whatever. But people are not the same. It's not easy. And I had to figure out how am I going to handle the situation with Danielle. Not for her sake, but for my sake, because I've discovered that, you know what, I've got to take care of myself here. I can't get sick. I can't stop working. I've got to go on living. So I've got to find out what is going to cost me to get this, back to a kind of normal life and deal with the situation. So the first thing that I've noticed about her was that she was very scared of, the cops, and things like that. And that was my weapon. When she threw a tantrum with me, I would threaten her. Well, I'll get you to the cops. I'll call the cops right now. And it eventually ended up that I had put Danielle in jail. I put her in prison. And nobody actually knew about it, not even my family. Because, looking back 20 years or so ago, if you had a child that's trapped in addiction, it was like, scanner. Oh, no, it's because she's partying. Oh, no, it's because she's having a drink. Oh, the mother's this or whatever. So, yes, I was scared of what people would think about it. And I did this all on my own of sending her to prison. And with that, Adrian turned about 12, and I've sent him away as well, because I didn't want him to experience seeing his sister being trapped in addiction, and I wanted him to finish school and and things like that. So Adrian was out of the way, living with his granny in Plettenberg Bay, and Danielle, now I can concentrate on Danielle and work on her. But, when I visited Danielle in prison, she was about 2.5 months in prison. And when I visited her, and this child was like so happy. And I'm thinking, but wait a minute, you're not supposed to be happy. I want you to learn and out of this and say, I will never ever do this again and whatever. But now you seem like you're enjoying yourself. So, I don't think prison, you've got to get out of prison now. I've got to do something else and work on something else to get you out of this mess. So I managed to get her out of prison, and straight out of prison, I sent her to a rehab center. Okay, sorry. Danielle did very well there and visited her. She was there for about 3 weeks. Beautiful, picked up weight, and it was like I had this child back. I know this girl. This is the girl that I know. And finally, when she came home, a job was organized for her, secretarial job, and it was everything hunky-dory. And 8 months later, she got back onto her habit. Okay. Which was unbelievable for me, because look, everybody think we know what to do, this is going to happen and whatever, but let me tell you something, you just don't know what's going to happen. Your expectations is that, okay, if we do that, then that's supposed to be like this, but out of my experience, no, it's got its own way of where it's going. So, Danielle never, ever recovered up till today. She is still, in the street. She visits, begging, And also before I carry on, Akila, we've taken Akila away from her when Akila was like 2 or 3 weeks old. And between Fahma, which is the other granny, and myself, we took care of Akila. I had to work for income and finance because I had to see to financially to Akila's health for the chiropractor, and my Fahma gave up a job. And weekends Akila's with me because we had this crying baby that sometimes you just couldn't pick the baby up, And poor uncle, which is Adrian, used to help me so much with Akila because there's times when you couldn't touch this baby. It had so much pain. And as I said, blessings that fell upon us that Akila, after a year, she was like healed, she could see, she could hear, and she's like a normal baby, but what's supposed to be the first thing of all. Danielle still visits, okay. Not so long ago, she came in here and she said to me, she's coming here to clean up, eat, sleep, and leave. Now, I've discovered that, no more play. Because now I'm going to put my foot down. I am not going to encourage you to come here, clean yourself up, have a good sleep, and tomorrow morning you get up, demand bus fare money from me, and off you go back to where you come from, and a week later you come back. Same routine, same thing. I'm asking you several times, please come home. Don't want to come home. I know I must come home, Mommy. I know I must come home, but it never happens. And about a month or so ago, I said to her, this is it. I am going to phone the cops because I know they are looking for you. For whatever, I know there's some or the other, they are looking for you. And because you're not going to come here, and I'm not going to encourage you and enable you to go back on the street, beg, scratching bins, come here like somebody that never ate for days or anything, and then expect me to clean you up, be nice, and off you go back into that same scenario. No ways, because it doesn't help me or her to recover from this type of lifestyle. So up till today, I haven't heard from her, and I know she won't come here because I will go to the cops. I will physically take her to the cops again, and I will physically have her locked up, because let me tell you something, I believe that prison is there for rehabilitation. What you make of it, it is your choice. You can either come out good or you can come out worse. But most people that's addicts, they don't like to be, there must be no rules. It must be their way. 6 o'clock, you have to get up. You make up your bed at 6:30, 7:15, you pray. 8 o'clock, you have a meal and things like that. They want to do their own thing and they don't like rules. So yeah, it's like baby steps, because in prison there's rules. You've got to get up, you've got to do it. Well, I suppose, I don't know, but that's how I think of it. At the end of the day, Danielle has made me what I am today. She's a different caliber from Adrian, not caliber, but different situation of Adrian's scenario. She is so streetwise. And I don't know if I can say this, but this is about being very honest, that Adrian would never make it the way she does when it comes to streetwise. That girl, I don't know how she does it. I don't know what happens when she's out there. I can only imagine, but she comes in here like it's just a normal thing, and she goes straight right back onto the street. If I see a guy walking down the road and he looks suspect, then I want to hide because I'm scared, Not the damn. This child is not scared. She will walk 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, she will walk down the street, and praise God, nothing has happened, that I had a knock on my door, that something terrible has happened to her, that she's been found somewhere, whatsoever, being hurt or whatever. So that is my experience with Danielle, and she's actually molded me in a way that I don't take a lot of shit. I'm nice, sorry for my words, I can be a nice person, but give me shit, I'll give it back to you. I'm my strength for patience it's very big, but once I put my foot down, then that's it. And that is what she has made out of me, and also making me very closer to my Maker. Because at the end of the day, we have family, we have friends, the support is there, but they all go home. You go home and you get into your bed alone, you put your head down and you're all alone. Then what? So you've got to find yourself in a situation where you know that, you know what, this is what I got to do for myself, and become a bit selfish, and get that strength from God. Ask God to have a change of mind of how to handle a situation, and not empower, and encourage, because that doesn't help anybody. We think with our emotions. Mothers are like that. We are emotional, we hurt, we have pain, and sometimes I have to act like a man, and just put my foot down, and the next day I just tell myself, I can't imagine that I actually said that or did this or whatever. But the outcome is the fact that there is no ways that you can make your child, enable them to just carry on doing the same thing over and over again. And yes, guilt. Sometimes we feel guilty and we say, maybe I should have done this, maybe I should have done that, I shouldn't have said that. You have to be, there was times years ago when I was so scared to say something. I shouldn't say this because maybe that will upset the, shouldn't do this or whatever. No ways. I put my foot down and I said, this is how it is. If you come into my home, if you come into my space, if you want to be with me, this is how you represent yourself in my presence. If you go out there, that's how you are. I don't know that life, but here, this is how it is, right? And Danielle has never given me any heartache with swearing or being actually rude to me or in any way. She's actually the most loving child that it's just unbelievable. She is full of love, and all I can do is just pray. I just pray about it. I pray first of all for myself so that I can carry on, because if I am not able to carry on and take care of myself, then I won't be able to help anybody. I won't be able to help Akila. I won't be able to do the runaround for anything, for myself included. So me first, not anymore about Danielle and whatever, no ways. Now, getting back to Adrian, Adrian left, as I said before, Adrian left home for Plettenberg Bay. I've sent him away. At the time, I thought this is the best thing that I could do. I didn't want him to see what his sister's busy doing. I wanted him to finish his school. I wanted him to be successful. I wanted to save him from any pain or whatever, it was all about that. And I've sent him away to his granny. So that he could just finish his school and until this thing is over with Danielle, and then he can come back home. And at the time, I had 3 houses to maintain. It was Adrian in Plettenberg. I had to see to Akila, and obviously myself. Financially, I had to see to these three households, and that was it. At the time, it was just the right thing for me to do. Don't ask me how I did it, but I did it. And Adrian used to come home from on school holidays to visit, and he'll go right back to Plettenberg Bay, and he was brilliant at school, besides the fact that the principal at the school always used to contact me. I was actually on speed dial because that boy of mine, he caught on a lot of crap at school, not being rude or anything. It's just stupid things, Mr. Bauer, which was the school principal, I was on speed dial already, and I will tell him, listen, if he did that, let him wash the walls for a month, or sweep out the classroom for 5 weeks, or stay behind at school, and this is how we would go about it. And I haven't noticed anything strange about Adrian, because I was so tied up with a lot of things myself to live a normal life, and obviously other surroundings of my work, Akila and Daniel, and obviously I just thought Adrian was okay, until I had a rude awakening that my son is also using, and he's also addicted. Okay. I always suspected that he's smoking marijuana, but I've never caught him. I would smell it, and then I will ask him, listen, what's wrong with your eyes? Why do you look like that? And, I would tell him, I'm not happy about this, but it got out of hand along the way. And that was devastating for me, because never in my life would I have imagined that I would have both my kids caught up in addiction, I was so angry. I was so angry at the two of them. I said to myself, you guys, I was always thinking, didn't I do enough? I love you guys so much. My whole world is just you. Everything I do is just for you. And how could you guys do this, And reality is that is what my challenge and what I'm facing, that I have 2 children that's addicts, okay? But with all this said, it's 2 different situations. I cannot handle Adrian the same way I handle Danielle. That's why I say I'm a bit bipolar-ish, because it's because of them. I have to deal with her this way, and with Adrian, I have to deal with him that way. They're making me mad sometimes, but I've got to keep my cool and handle any situation. And when Adrian came home from school, he passed with the best school, marks, and I was very happy about it. Not even knowing the seriousness of this boy is suffering. He never ever, I didn't see this. All I just said to myself every time when I saw him, and I just said to myself, you're growing up very fast, And that's it, but there was nothing that I could pick up, that this boy was having difficulty with whatever the hell it is that he was smoking. And when he came home, I was very afraid at the time, not because of anything, because this is now not more your 12-year-old boy, but this is your adult, 17, 18, finished with matric, so now I must handle him differently, And when he came home to stay permanently, it was really deep. I could see it. And I've asked myself all sorts of questions, because we do that. Did I do the right thing? Did I actually do the right thing to send him away? Was it my fault? Because this boy at the age of 12, he just wanted to be with mommy. He just wanted to come home, and I wouldn't let him come home because I was trying to protect him. But I asked myself, did I actually do more damage than more good? And this question popped up so now and again, but that was way back, and I had to just got my answers, and I said to myself, you know what, no, I just did the best that I could. I was doing the right thing at the time. It looked right, it seems right, it was his choice. And I couldn't believe the fact that he actually started smoking, because he kind of knew also now about his sister, because he told me when he was in matric, he knows about Danielle. He knows she was in prison, because these are all things I wanted to keep away from him. But he knew about it. And I just couldn't believe the fact that he actually went that way. And that was something I had to deal with, to tell myself it is what it is. You've got to deal with it. And also to believe that God would never, ever give me a burden that I couldn't carry. Pain is pain. Others may have different scenarios of dealing with things, but God will never give you any burden that you cannot carry. With Adrian, with him, I cut it short. He didn't stand a chance with me, because you see, Danielle she's already molded me to a certain extent where I basically know how to handle some scenarios, because sometimes you don't know whether you're doing the right thing or the wrong thing. And with Adrian, he didn't stand a chance. Before he could think of doing something, I already know. I would tell him, don't even think about it. And he would say, Mommy, how did you know? I said, don't even think about it, because that's it. I ask for vision. I ask God for vision. I pray about it for vision, because one child on the street, other one in my presence, and how do I get this all together and, to fit in with my life? And I had to educate myself. And educating myself was to put my foot down, not spoil. And that comes with a lot of, you've got to, it's not easy. It's really not easy. You've got to put your foot down and say, listen, it's not an easy thing to do, because it's hurting you so much that you see your child is battling. You don't understand it, but you want to help. But emotionally, you've got to be strong and say to yourself, this is not going to happen. I'm not going to enable you and be nice, This is how it's going to be, and that's it. Never have I thought that I would be part of the RAEL family when I started posting a couple of years ago. My posting was mainly for myself, where I could open up and post about my experience, how I feel. And I never ever thought that Anthony Hall would be part of my life and my children's life. I never ever dreamt of it, And Adrian started to kind of help himself, to do some his own thing, to attend some inner meetings and whatever. And he went to a rehabilitation center as well, and that was 3 weeks, which was, I won't even mention about it. That's so stupid. But anyway, at that time, you don't know. You think everything you do is for the best, and you don't know what to do. And he was trying really hard. He's really tried from the day that he came home. He really tried very hard to get out of it. And but I mustn't involve myself. He would want to do his own thing, and this is how he wanted to do it. And I think that was basically the problem, is because he wanted to do it his way. And after how many years? 12 years of addiction, of trying to keep your head above water. It didn't work. His way didn't work. And mommy, you stay out of it. This is how I want to do it. Don't say anything. And I thought, you carry on. Carry on. Up until the day when he moved out. Yes, Tony and himself moved in together. They had little Connor. And 3 or 4 years down the line, Adrian came back home. Shattered. Finish, down the ground. And I said, and now? What's happening now? He said, Mommy, I need help and whatever. But, with Mommy, I need help, it's just to say to me what I want to hear. But are you actually willing to do what you must do? Is it your way or is it going to be the right way? And he tried his luck with me. That was 2 years ago. And it just got worse. I said to him the other day, there was only once that I was actually really scared, that he made me so scared one night, and I've never seen him like that. I don't know what he was smoking. I don't know where he came from, but I said to myself, it's either live or die. And I said to him also, that's what I said to myself, but I said to him, as either you're going to rehab or prison. Right now, the choice is yours, because I am not going to tolerate your nonsense any longer. This has got to stop. It's bullshit. Okay, right now. And I was actually quite firm about it. And I have told him way back about Anthony Hall, and he said, yeah, I know you're posting these things, but at that time it was his way. And he had no option. I contacted Anthony, and Adrian ended up at the farm in Worcester. The experience with Adrian, I know that I would have lost my son, because he thought that he's a gangster. Adrian can't even, I don't think he knows what's the meaning of a gangster. And I always, my fear, even Danielle said, you are going to get hurt, you're going to get killed, because you don't have the ability to make it out there. And he's still getting there. He's getting there. He's doing very well. And I'm very proud of him, and I believe that everybody stand a chance in this life with no judgment. And I don't care what people think of us or say. They don't know. They don't walk in my shoes. They don't know that I know God. They think that, maybe she was like this and that. That's, to me, that is something that it doesn't matter to me. Because all I can say is that I'm just trying to be as best as I can as a mother, and I don't tolerate any nonsense. If I want to do something for Danielle or Adrian, I will not empower them by giving them money, by buying them gifts, by or whatever, because of guilt or because of, I feel so sorry for you. No, I will rather take that money and invest it. I invest money, even if it's just that 200 or 500 rand extra, that I feel, okay, well, you know what, for that day when it needs, when there's need for it, it's there. But I cannot take a chance to enable and be nice and think, maybe, if I give, worldly things, if I give you money, if I'm nice, and if no. That is when the manipulation takes place, and they know that this is what they can get out of you. And I won't allow that. I just don't allow any nonsense like that. But they taught me to be like this. It is to educate myself in a situation, to handle it at full speed, that it does not happen to me or to anyone else that's in the presence when they are around. And that's it. If you're in my presence, if you're in my vicinity, if you're in my home or whatever, you will obey my rules. If you're out there, you can do whatever you want to, but not here, not in my presence, because this is where I'm queen and I am the boss. If you don't want to listen or you don't want to adhere to my rules, there's the door. Go. And it's harsh words, because a mother's supposed to be there to protect. We cover our children. We always ask, are you cold? Did you eat? Did you sleep? You look sick. There's something wrong with you. But I had to put my emotions one side, because there is something wrong with you. You made the wrong choice. But you also can make a choice to get out of it. And I can't do that for you. I can support you. But I can't do that for you. I can't live my life for you. I've got my own life. I am 54 years old. I should have been married long time ago. But it was always the children, you know. Maybe this, maybe that. No, I will not stand for that anymore. I want a normal life. There is always a chance to change. There's always second chances. There's always a way to get out. And feeling sorry for yourself and getting away with things just because you can. Family members don't know how to handle, and they know exactly what to do. They will badmouth you. They will say, my mother said this, my mother put me out of the house, and they don't understand the reason why. Because am I that bad person? No, I'm not. I'm not a bad person. I'm the most loveliest person on earth. But don't mess with me. If you mess with me, I'll mess you up 10 times worse. No, I will stand my ground, and it's not easy, because I still have my sleepless nights. You know, I still think about Danielle. If I eat my plate of food, I still wonder, does she have a plate of food? If I shower, if I bath, I still wonder, is she warm? She's a female, did she wash? All these things go through my mind. But I've still got to do my business. I still got to get up. I still got to get up tomorrow morning, go to work, and see to my own life, you know. And that is what I made them understand, that I am alive. I don't have a problem. I enjoy my social life. I still want to have a drink. Thank God I don't smoke. But I also want to have my little bit of total whiskey when I feel like it. So now and again, I want to have my whiskey, because there's nothing wrong with me. I don't need to have whiskey when something goes wrong, when I run to the bottle. No, I know people say, oh, I need a drink because I'm so upset. That's just hearsay. But, you know, I still want to live my life, and I don't want any interruptions. I've allowed it for a very long time, that the kids can just manipulate, but I've learned out of it. And I will not encourage. Enabling is the worst thing a parent can do, is to make that mistake to enable, because we think with our emotions, and sometimes we ask God for the wrong things. Yes, we all want the same thing, but we ask for the wrong things, you know. First, see to yourself, because if you, that is the loved one watching the addict destroying their life, if you get sick or tired or whatever, then you can't help them. So you've got to see to yourself first before you actually can deal with any scenario with the addict. And I invested myself in my grandchildren. Danielle and Adrian as adults, they are responsible for their own lives. I've done my bit. I will always stay their mother. I will always love them. I will always do whatever I can in the right way. But I concentrate on Akila and Connor, because that is my blessing. It's their turn. They're still small. Unfortunately for Akila, both her parents are still trapped in addiction, you know. That's also a scenario where I have to, handle this child with special gloves, you know. She's like my own. I'm like her mother. I remember when she was about 4 years old, when she asked me one day, Nan, how does my mommy look? Because she didn't even know her mother, and that just shattered me. And I started showing her pictures, beautiful pictures of her mother, and as she grew up, and she's older now and she understands, but still I keep a close eye on her, because, you know, you don't know what goes through their minds. And at the end of the day, I can only praise God for my strength, my willpower, and my faith and my love that I have in my heart for those that is trapped in addiction. I don't know how it feels, but I can only imagine. I don't know how they do it. I don't want to wake up every morning and thinking I need to get a hit, I need to get a drink to carry on. No, that should never ever happen to anybody. That is my story. But my message tonight goes out to the parents to educate themselves first. Educate yourself. Learn how to deal with your child. Enabling is the worst thing ever, because we think with our emotions. It is nothing wrong. We're only human. But at the end of the day, enabling your child, the addict child, is the worst. It's destroying. They try their luck. They push their luck. And you think that you're doing good. You're not. You're actually just destroying them much further. And that is my story. I hope that my message that I have said, or that I gave tonight, would help someone about being a parent of addicts and how to conduct yourself towards yourself, you need to reward yourself to live and just do the right thing, what is good for you first, and then for the rest. I thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much, and have a blessed evening all. Thank you.